Good day to all. I'm Imran Ahmed from MJIIT, University Technology Malaysia, and today I will be presenting on the title Role of Algae in Built Environment and Green Cities, a holistic approach towards sustainability. The slide is showing the outline of the presentation. So we'll be starting with the introduction, then the description about the bioreactive facades, the algal powered buildings, then microalgae for the green cities, how microalgae will be contributing in the establishment of green cities, then the role of urban green space in the management of pandemic in COVID-19 management, followed by the conclusion. As we all know that urbanization and industrialization are increasing day by day, causing an immense pressure on the demand for energy, and due to the consumption of non-renewable fossil fuels, uh, the petroleum reserves are also depleting, and also it is causing pollution at an overwhelming scale because of the release of greenhouse gases. So this is mainly caused by the developed cities or the urban agglomerated centers, and the researchers conclude that the urban agglomerated centers or the developed cities like Tokyo, New York, New Delhi, they are individually responsible for causing much more pollution than a bunch of cities or a whole province or state. So there is a disbalance definitely. So we all know that cities comprise only of 3% land in the world, but it is responsible for 75% carbon emissions and 60 to 80% energy consumption. That's why the researchers are going towards planning, designing, and building of the green cities, which consist of green buildings. But the driving force for these green buildings and green cities will be renewable energy. So initially they worked on the solar energy and wind energy, but solar energy and wind energy is not practically viable because they are somewhat costlier. It's very difficult to establish them because of the requirement of the land, and definitely they are associated with different kinds of pollution like noise pollution and others. This led to the advent of microalgae, which are the eukaryotic photosynthetic microorganisms, which can be grown in different types of habitats like fresh and marine water habitats, and they consist of very rich constituents like proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, carotenoids, and these can be exploited to obtain biofuels, food supplements, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, cosmetics, and many other metabolites, which are very useful for humans and animals. So they are also contributing towards carbon dioxide sequestration, uh, wastewater bioremediation, and they can be grown in bioreactors, so they are not solely dependent upon the land. So the whole concept of these green cities are they should be self-reliant basically, which is towards the sustainability, and they should not produce anything in terms of waste or pollution, because we will be utilizing them as you can say for the circular bioeconomy or the biorefinery. So definitely it will be a green fuel energy for future. So we can see globally building accounts for the consumption of these all. So it is a very serious problem definitely. So 70% fresh water usage, 25% food is being consumed, 40% energy and material consumption, then 33% of carbon dioxide emission. So we can see the benefits of green buildings in terms of economy, health and society, and also environmental aspects. So definitely they will be contributing a lot towards energy, environment, and sustainability. So the green buildings, as reported by the World Green Building Council, which is formed on the separate councils of 12 countries, that green buildings and green cities, they are contributing towards 9 sustainable goals. So it is really a thing which we can say an achievement for green buildings. So we can see in this figure on the top left different sustainable development goals which are being pumped by green buildings, and this is a picture showing a green building in the city of Kuala Lumpur. It is having some of the features of the green building definitely, and the look of a green city. So the World Green Building Council, founded in 1998, is comprised of national councils from various countries. So the different councils working under the Green World Green Building Council uh, are based on the four predominant ranking systems. So they are Green Star, followed by Australia and New Zealand, then Building Research Establishment Environmental Assessment Method, followed by United Kingdom, then Comprehensive Assessment System for Building Environmental Efficiency, followed by Japan. United States, Brazil, Canada, and India are following leadership in energy environmental design, that is LEED. So we can see the shaded regions in the map of the globe. We can see the world map here, and the shaded regions are where these systems are being followed. Now coming to the microalgae bioreactive facades. So these are the efficient and dynamic buildings which are working on the simultaneous cultivation of microalgae in the facades, in the panels where they are cultivated. So we can see here on the right top, this is the building from Hamburg, the most efficient system till date, which is running practically. So this is the unit of a panel in which microalgae is being cultivated. So they are contributing towards the wastewater remediation. We are using the wastewater generated from the same building, definitely CO2 mitigation. Then we are producing the biofuel and the bioenergy resources. Then they are acting as a shading devices also. And the researchers comment that they are very efficient and sustainable sound buffers for the building residuants. And also they are providing the temperature regulation, the thermal insulation for the buildings. So altogether they are contributing towards the aspects of economy, environment, and energy, together with the acoustics and aesthetics of a building. So in this figure on the bottom right, we can see how they are being cultivated and the algae being harvested, then they are being utilized and exploited for the production of different useful metabolites. In this slide, we can see the microalgae bioreactive facades which are already being established, their methodology, whether they are experimental or working on the simulation, types of the bioreactors, their purpose, and the cross-sectional views of their panels. So in this slide, we can see how the microalgae is contributing in the development of green cities and the reduction of carbon footprint. So microalgae green cities will be contributing in all these aspects, like in the production of various metabolites, bioenergy, then biofertilizer, biochar. Definitely they will be contributing towards the green space ratio by increasing the greenery in the buildings, working on the principle of biorefinery and also the bioremediation. In this table, we can see how different species of microalgae are contributing towards the CO2 biofixation rate and how they are working on the reduction of carbon footprint. Simultaneously, they are also producing the biomass, which can be further utilized in the production of different valuable products. In this slide, we can understand about the difference between the urban green space and the open space with the help of this figure, which is showing clearly the difference between the UGS and open space. And we'll be clarifying more about the contribution of UGS to combat COVID-19 or working as a green spatial measure in the COVID-19 management. Significant role of urban green space in COVID-19 pandemic management. Studies reveal the importance of UGS in stabilizing public health and individual well-being in different countries of USA, Norway, and Spain. It promoted improved living quality, providing relaxation from hectic and tiring life trend, encouraging physical activities, augmenting social well-being, and improving the health and mental fitness. During COVID-19 pandemic, the demand and necessity of UGS increased drastically, and it showed that there is an eventual increase as compared to the pre-COVID period. There is close connection between the built environment and transmission of infectious diseases indeed. So we have to go for very effective and efficient planning and designing of the buildings, including the parameters such as daylight, drainage, ventilation, and sewer systems. UGS are believed to be the flexible form of built environment which contributes to enhance the quality of air, livability of the region, aesthetics, and recreational opportunities in the cities. So it will be definitely a positive impact on the public health, climatic mitigation, and the conservation of biodiversity. Coming to the conclusion, green buildings in cities are a sustainable solution to energy and environmental crisis prevailing throughout the globe. World Green Building Council summarized that these green buildings are contributing to 9 sustainable development goals. Efficient, innovative, and groundbreaking technology, that is the technology of algae-powered buildings or microalgae bioreactive facades, are expected to gain momentum for the development of green cities. So industry and academia have to work hand in hand to make this technology viable. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the urban green spaces has played a contributory role for the improvement of public health and individual well-being. These are the references. So thank you for listening. Algae biorefineries and bioreactive facades can make the globe green and sustainable in the post-COVID era.